welcome to my channel. This is the Nomadic Goddess and I am Jasmine. This is going to be a general reading for the sign of Aquarius for the week of January 5th to January 12th. You don't have to just be a Aquarius Sun. You can be an Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and or Mercury. And just because I said that this is for the week of January 1st to the 12th, January 1st, oh goodness, January 5th to the 12th, it doesn't mean that it is solely for that week. It is for whenever you stumble across my channel and decide to hit play. Because this is a general reading, you shouldn't take everything with you. What I mean by this is, if the shoe fits, lace it up, buy the matching pair, and travel well. If it does not fit, leave it where it is. There is no need to wear shoes and carry messages that do not ring true for you. I am clairaudient, so I will be getting songs stuck in my head, and I will sing them. I'm giving you guys a heads up and a warning that I cannot sing. So you have to put up with my non-singing self. So let's get ready, enjoy yourself, discover something new about yourself, and don't be afraid to dive deep within yourself. With that said, let's get started. I also want to let you guys know that this is the third time I am recording or attempting to record y'all's video, okay? Mercury retrograde is retrograding. And I also want to let y'all guys know that my guides think they're funny. So again, like I tried the day before yesterday to record you guys' reading because I wanted to wrap up the air signs so today I could focus on either the water or the fire signs. That didn't happen. And so like as I'm getting ready today, to record you guys' video, I get Aaliyah stuck in my head. At first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. So I was like, oh, y'all think that's funny. But thank you for the words of encouragement. I got this, y'all. I got this. I also decided to start this channel during retrograde. The plan, I had thought about doing it for a while, but I was being a little chicken, so we just gonna mosey on and power through retrogrades and all. All right, what messages do you have for Aquarius for the week of January 1st to January 12th? What messages do you have for Aquarius for the week of January 5th to January 12th? Right. Ooh, we have starfish. Next we have shark. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We have a dropper. We have a dropper. We have a runner. A runner. All right, what messages do we have for the sign of Aquarius? What messages do we have? Ooh, the snake. What messages do we have for the sign of Aquarius? Is some of y'all's favorite movie The Lion King? Cause I'm literally getting a wing boa, a wing boa, a wing boa, a wing boa. Do 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 do. Alright. Oh, last card. Oh, bee. Bee. And a little bumblebee. Messages do we have for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising Venus, and or Mercury? What messages do we have for Aquarius? Some of you may need to watch The Lion King because that was one of your favorite movies growing up. And your inner child kind of sort of wants some attention. Wants some love and attention. What messages do you have for Aquarius? Ooh. Speak the fuck up. Abundance for winning. With the 888. If you are seeing angel numbers, I want to advise you guys to meditate on exactly what they mean. So yes, angel numbers have their own generic meanings, but when our guides, when our higher self, when source, our ancestors, when they're sending us these numbers, they are sending it to us for a very, very specific reason. So if you are receiving these numbers, it is okay to look up the meaning, but also meditate and tap in so you know exactly what and how those messages mean to you, or what your guides are or ancestors are trying to say. What messages do we have for Aquarius? I'm not taking these. What messages do we have for Aquarius? What messages do we have for Aquarius? Ooh. Mental health check. I just got the Fergie flying first class, open the sky, popping champagne, living the life in the fast lane. I won't judge for the glamours, ooh, the flash. Yes. Oops, sorry. Did not mean to knock the table. But I am being extra clumsy today and almost dropped some cards. What messages do we have for Aquarius for the week of January 5th to January 12th? What messages do we have for Aquarius? What messages do we have for Aquarius? Ooh, we have cat's tail build. Garlic service. Messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury for the week of January 5th to the 12th. Dandelion, humility. With the humility card, I'm hearing you don't have to be such a brainiac. What messages do you have for Aquarius for the week of January 5th to 12th? Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury. Calendula, brighten. Burdock, tenacity, and last but not least, huckleberry, resourcefulness. All right, let's get started with the starfish card. Starfish card, with the starfish card, I always think of starfish can be very, very alluring. They bring people in, and people are always fascinated by starfish. So make sure you guys aren't being superficial or shallow. Especially if you're in some form of limelight. Don't allow that to change who you are as a person. With the shark card, there is some needing for you to be direct. I'm hearing stop being around the bush. And a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Which is also why the speak the fuck up card is here, because you guys need to start activating your throat chakra and start speaking up. But I also want you to remember that Another form of activating your throat chakra is also listening. So you have to have a balance of actively listening and not listening to respond, listening to comprehend and understand what the person is saying, but also having the balance of speaking up when you need to speak up and stop beating around the bush and stop being passive aggressive. With the Firefly card, and you guys may have, because I'm seeing a lot of air and water, like you only have one earth, but obviously you're air sign, so Firefly, Hawk, and Bee is air, but you may have water and earth in your chart somewhere. The Firefly card always comes up for me whenever it comes to readings as a very, very short burst of inspiration. Now, what you do with that inspiration is up to you. Do you want to, if you act on it, which I would advise, acting on it, and because it only lasts for but so long. Like you get like this instant burst of inspiration out of nowhere, and it's like you either gotta write, you gotta sing, you gotta draw, paint, whatever. And then if you don't act on it, it just fizzles away. That's what the Firefly energy is. It's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful inspiration. But it doesn't last long. It's very fleeting. So the goal is to use it while you can, while you get it, when you feel it, if you can. That means if you have to, pull over. If you're driving, pull over. Pull over and draw, pull over and write, record yourself singing something. Now, if you're in a meeting, I'm not saying burst out in song, but if you're just driving or doing day-to-day tasks, stop what you're doing and tap into that inspiration, because you're getting hit with that energy for a reason. The Snake card is always my ending cycle card, but because you guys have going in circles card right here, I feel like there's a lesson that you're refusing to learn and you're going in circles. A relative of mine once taught me that Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And I feel like that's what you guys are doing. Like you know the situation for what it is because you've done it before, you've done it so many times, but you still decide to act or react the same way, and then you get upset because you get the same outcome every single time. Whether it's pertaining to ending a relationship, walking away from something that doesn't serve you anymore, sticking up to a family member, whether it be parental or another familiar relationship, you are reacting the same. Like there's something in your actions that you're doing that is exactly the same, and that is why you are getting the same exact outcome. I need you guys to take a step back, take a breather, and then see your own patterns, because people are made up of patterns. That's another thing a relative of mine taught me. People are made up of patterns. And sometimes people resort back or go back to old patterns, and that's what you're doing. So pay attention to your own patterns as well as patterns of other people. That's the only way you're going to break out of this cycle, is paying attention to your own, being self-aware. And I feel like you know this about yourself, like you know you react in this way, but it's like in the heat of the moment, you can't step out of it. And I need you guys to step out of it so that you can change it. Especially with the Hawk card right next, because the Hawk card is all about changing or getting a different perspective, getting a higher perspective. Because you keep saying that you're tired. You're tired. You don't want to go through this no more. You don't want to deal with this person no more. You don't want to keep you don't want to keep fighting this battle with this person anymore, but you keep responding and you keep not responding, you keep reacting that way. This is not about how this is not about other people, it's about you. How do you respond? This person is teaching you, is literally just mirroring you back to you, or mirroring something that you need to deal with in yourself. So how are you going to respond from now on? I need you guys to literally just take a step back, take a breather, and start noticing your patterns. Because I feel like this pattern arises within multiple people and multiple relationships that you guys have. I'm looking at this. I'm getting drawn back to the starfish card, and I'm hearing the In Vogue song, "Free your mind, and the rest will follow." I'm also hearing that you can't blame everything on being depressed. You can't blame everything on. Well, you can, but you shouldn't blame everything on your depression is because of your parents or how you were raised. Yes, we are not at fault for how our parents raised us, but what we are responsible for is how we heal from that, how we grow from that. You can't keep just saying, oh, well, I'm like this because they made me this way. Okay, well, how are you actively changing to be better? How are you growing? How are you actively healing those traumas? Like everybody says that they want change, but the hardest part is changing, because everybody really doesn't want change because they're comfortable. And when they realize that change is very, very uncomfortable, it makes you very, very uncomfortable. It puts you in this space of stepping into an unknown, and it puts you in this uncomfortable space where you have to confront not only yourself, but your shadow, your inner child, your inner teen, your traumas, your insecurities, like all of those things. And it actually change actually makes you be accountable. Like, you have to be accountable. What part did you play in the downfall of these relationships? Because relationships are 200%. 100% you and 100% the other person. So what part did you play in these relationships? I'm literally hearing, it takes two, baby. It takes two, baby. So don't lie to yourself and say that you weren't a villain, because we're a villain in someone's story. Doesn't matter who it is. We're going to be a villain in someone else's story, because we all have roles to play in other people's lives. We're all there to either teach them a lesson or be a blessing. Or sometimes we're just there to help them, watch them grow. But in the people, in the relationships that we are a lesson to, they're going to see it. Sometimes they're going to see you as a villain. Sometimes they're going to see us as a villain. And it really, like, there's nothing you can really do about that. Except notice how you played that role, and notice what role you played in there, in that relationship, and be accountable. Be accountable. If you started a relationship on a lie, be accountable. You started a relationship on a lie. You can't build a strong foundation off of a lie. If you were depressed and you had mental health issues and you weren't at your best, that's okay, but also be accountable for that. Were you tapping into your highest potential? Were you using people? I think now in the spiritual community, people don't want to people don't want to acknowledge the quote-unquote bad that they've done. I take accountability for everything. I can tell you that I've lied. That's why I don't like liars. I can tell you that I used to manipulate people. That's why I don't like being manipulated. I can tell you that I stole. That's why I don't like being stolen from. I was a villain in a lot of people's stories, and I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, I realized what role I played, and I take full accountability for it. And there are a lot of people that I helped. What got me this far is literally taking accountability for every aspect of my life, every decision of my life. And also what helped me take accountability is I could only do the best that I knew of. Like, if I would have known better, I wouldn't have done half the things that I did in my life. But I didn't. So I did the best that I could with whatever I had. And so, Aquarius, you guys have to come to that place within yourself where you have to realize that you did the best that you had. And even if you look back now and it wasn't that great, and it wasn't like you made some horrible mistakes, you, at the end of the day, that's what you thought was best. Because you guys are like changing, you're growing. It's just like this one thing right here, this one cycle that's just, you can't close the door on quite yet because you haven't fully taken accountability for yourself, for your thoughts, for your actions, for your inactions. Because as you can see, abundance flowing in, the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. But you have to accept yourself wholeheartedly. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, the beautiful, the divine, the human. Because we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Like, you honestly really just need to build yourself up. Oh, one of my favorite songs, Cleo Soul, Build Me Up, just started playing in my head. Is it hard for you to do? Doom, 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 doom. Build me up. Also, with the abundance flowing in card, don't be afraid to be of service. Give back. Give back. Yeah, give back. Some way, somehow. Whether it's doing community service, whether it's going to a homeless shelter and donating all your clothes or all your old clothes or your luggage. Do something that brings you back to your humility and that makes you brighten other people's day. Because I think that's where some of you feel your best, is when you're doing and giving back to others. I am just going to look up something really fast. Oh, okay. So the next card, burdock. So I like looking up words. I like looking up the etymology of words. But with burdock, which means tenacity, this situation is going to, like, because I feel like a lot of you are wanting to give up, because there's like, you're in like this woe is me, I'll never figure this out. But you really, really just have to gain a higher perspective of it. Because you know what you need to do. You've talked to either your therapist or spiritual counselor about it, and you've gotten advice, you've gotten readings done about it maybe. But what you really honestly need to do is just listen to yourself. What do you like? Just sit and be still. Take a step back and ask yourself, what do I need to do to overcome this cycle? Because one thing we're not doing is continuing to go around the mountain 150 times. With the Fire and Desire card, which is 444, it's not about a relationship for some of you. For some of you, it ties in with the Firefly card. You guys are putting this spark back into your lives, or you need to put the spark back into your lives. Also, with the with the Humility card, Dandelion, don't let your ego get you in trouble. Remember, pride comes before the fall. So don't get too big-headed. Now, I'm not saying that you can't take pride in what you do and take pride in who you are. I'm not saying that. Because every day I look in the mirror and say, I'm that bitch. Okay? And every day I walk and feel like I'm that bitch. So, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you can't walk into the room and know that you're not a living, breathing goddess or god. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is to don't come from a place of ego with it. Like, don't start becoming a megalomaniac. Also, in the mental health check, make sure you're taking care of you before you decide to take care of someone else. Because I'm hearing the Solange cranes in the sky. I tried to work it away. I tried to work it. I tried to change it with my head. I tried to... Sorry, started jamming. Had a mini jam session. But make sure you are taking care and checking in with your mental health first. If you have a routine, notice when you start falling off of your routine, whether it be morning or night. Whatever your routine is, if you have one, make sure you're being aware of when you're slipping, when you're like missing 3 or more things. That's when you want to check in with yourself emotionally. All right, Aquarius, that was your reading for the week of January 5th to the 12th. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you discovered something new about yourself, and I hope you are not afraid to dive deeper. I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful week.